Good morning, traders, and happy new week. So I'm looking at EURUSD at the moment. We could see that it's been very bullish since last week. Obviously, I have the minor break, and we've just been moving up higher, just respecting the demand chain along the way. The only thing is, I didn't enter last week on any longs because I preferred to wait for an entry from the extreme demand down here. However, price has just kept on pumping up higher, and it's unlikely, it's not necessary for price to come all the way back down here again, but it could, because you could potentially see underneath all these lows as liquidity. So it is possible we have this demand, it could come sweep the liquidity from the demand and some of these lows, and then if you get the minor break, you could just form a fresh demand here, and that would be the best kind of entry like that. But yeah, I don't think it could come all the way down to this demand, but that would be the best or ideal entry. But however, this demand is also pretty interesting, and it could hold, because if we take a look at the DXY, what you'll see is that it's reacting to the supply at the moment as well. So that's good for some further downside. However, what you'll see, it's quite interesting. We have demand over here, supply over here. So we just need to hold off for a minute and see what the DXY is going to decide. But overall, I think we're just going to have some further downside like that. But since we have the reaction to the supply here, I would have loved it if price just came in and tapped into that demand at the same time, and I would have loved to take that long there. But yeah, let's see what happens. If we get some better development when the supply is retested here, we could potentially see that demand get tapped, and then I might look for a small long, at least until the supply. But overall, we want to target the overall high of this bullish range. So over on GU, also it's not bullish, it's bearish, but it's in the retracement phase. So it's been very rangy, but we did have the demand respect here. After a little liquidity grab, it started pushing up higher. I took an entry from this demand last week, but because of the weekend, I had to close the trade. But let's take a look. My entry was on the 5-minute, and yeah, you can see it's a very rangy trade anyway, so it's better to not be in it. But ultimately, what you could wait for next is just some further development today. You can see that it's starting to form that demand. So after the demand is formed, you could look for an entry at least to 50% of the range, and then you have these two really nice supply zones. Obviously, this one is better. Once we tap into here, you could look for some shorts. Overall trend is bearish, and my overall target is still this daily demand over here. So yeah, just waiting for some further development or a tap into this EU demand. And we do have some red news this week, or today. So yeah, keep that in mind. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.